Welcome back. So, இது வந்து server based network. You have to have one server minimum, and there are called uh, more than one server, like additional domain, child domain, etc. Okay. The next topic called member server. Member server, which means in every organization, they should have multiple services, not a server, multiple services. Like, yes, as we discussed, there is a DC. You can see a DC, domain controller. எல்லா ஆஃபீஸ்லேயும் வந்து ஒரு domain control minimum required. Then, most of the company will have DHCP server, which can provide auto IP address to the systems. We will have a lab on this. Then we have email server, which is again like providing email services. Now we also have Office 365 cloud-based email services. Then we have FTP services, and there are many other services, of course. So think your company have multiple services that you need. Example, a DHCP server. It is not recommended or best practice to provide multiple services from the same server. Like as we said before, in order to get domain controller for the centralized management, we installed Windows OS and we made them as a server. The second requirement for us, we need a DHCP in our organization. The DHCP is nothing but, think you have a 200 device in your organization. Every device is need IP address. It's not easy or it's not best practice for you to assign a static IP to every devices. ஆஃபீஸுக்குள்ள 100 above டிவைஸ் இருந்தால் எல்லா டிவைஸிலும் வந்து ஸ்டாட்டிக்காக ஐபி போடுறது அவ்வளோ பெட்டர் ஆப்ஷன் கிடையாது. ஸோ அதனால டிஹெச்சிபி சர்வர் போட்டு அந்த டிஹெச்சிபி சர்வர் வந்து எல்லாத்துக்குமே ஐபி ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்கலாக ப்ரொவைட் பண்ணும். Okay, so member server. So if you think you need additional services in your organization, do not compromise to put two services in one server. It is my advice. There are chances for the budgetary purpose they can ask you, can we run multiple services in one server? In example, 2012 server, you have domain controllers running. Can I install DHCP? Yes, we can, but that's not the best practice. That's not good design. Always additional services should require additional server. So, in the design பார்த்தா ஒரு 2012 server இருக்கு, 3 clients இருக்கு. Client is a member of your server. You need an extra DHCP server. So you have a computer which is running Windows, example Windows 2000, Windows 2010. When you think you need extra services, you have to have server OS. No compromise on that. DHCP or some specific services cannot run on a client OS. You need a server OS. Okay, so this DHCP server, maybe I'm installing 2003 Windows Server or 2016 Windows Server, anything. So in your organization, if you have any services other than your centralized management or data or domain controller, then those servers or those services we call as a member server. Keep in mind, nowadays there are some tools which are able to provide some TFTP, some DHCP services as well, other than Windows operating system. TFTP 64. Okay, so I'll show you one services now. Can you see my screen? So here you can see TFTPD 64. This is one third-party tool. If I double click that tool, Can you see this tool? Here you can see DHCP server. Okay. And if I put settings, you can see DHCP configuration. So this configuration, which you can see, are similar to what you are going to configure in the Windows OS. So this kind of tool is just for testing the some sort of configuration, but not it's not recommended or a best practice for any organization. It's just for network engineer, for them to do some testing. We will do some set of lab on this as well on upcoming session after the theory. Okay, so this is called member server. Then the minimum network requirement. This all basics, as you know, minimum network requirements. You need a NIC card. Why we specifically mention NIC card? In some computer, you can get a computer without NIC card. Or customer says that my system is ready. When you go there, they may not have NIC card, or they may have NIC card which is faulty. So this is we call as a checklist. When you do something, before you implement, or before you give a commitment to the customer, or before you give a final thought to anybody, you have to do a practice, or you have to do an exercise by yourself. So during your exercise, you have to work out to understand what I have to ask to the customer, or what I have to present. Is there anything missing? We cannot go back to quote again to the customer that is missing. We need a 500 real extra or 500 rupees extra. It cannot. So whatever it is once approved, it is always approved. So better as a best practice, before you submit anything to the customer or to the respective team, you have to make sure that all the requirement that you have filled. So you have to prepare a checklist. Then the network cable. Then you need a switch or hub. Then you need a router. You need end devices. And this all are not important to do a simple network, but this all are important when you think about enterprise network. We'll come across with each topic individually. You can see an NIC card here, which is plugged into a system. Then the UTP cable, which is also called as a copper cable to connect to your systems. And you can also see fiber connection, which some devices also require a fiber. Example, for the fiber, some server required fiber connection. But as a best practice, always recommended to connect a fiber connectivity in between switches. This is hub or switch, which again we will connect all the systems. And here you can see a switch from the Cisco, which is 3750. Inshallah, we'll discuss more on this. Then this is we call as the device connected. You can see a port, which is the blank space called the port, and you can see a cable connected to that port. Yellow color, blue color, green color, gray color. These are the UTP Ethernet cable connected to your switch port within the switch. And here it is mentioned like a Ethernet switch. And also you can see some Cisco devices here. And these are the some symbols which we referred as while we design a network. Then the networking standard. The networking standard is one of the common topic everywhere, and we are going to touch this in the real scenario. So in our design, whatever we're going to learn in this theory, we will going to touch in the real. So you're going to be more understand about what we were discussed in a theory portion. Like networking standard is nothing but this all individual standards are referred to a common uh, OSI reference model to make our network life is easy, which means when you send something from your device to your another device, there could be a plenty of different vendor devices being engaged. நீங்க வந்து ஒரு டிவைஸில் இருந்து ஒரு டேட்டா இன்னொரு டிவைஸுக்கு அனுப்பும்போது அதுக்கு உள்ள வந்து your computers is yours, but the NIC different company, operating system different company, your system by itself hardware is different company, and your Ethernet cable may be Panduit, you're sending via different company. Then when you send something from your one device to another device, there are plenty of irrespective vendors are being engaged in between. So whenever you send something, all the connected devices, all the participant equipments within us, sending from one device to another devices, whoever is participating in between that must follow the same rules and regulations. This is called as OSA reference model. I know it bit confused and bit boring theory, but I'm not going to talk about in depth. We will talk about the reality, the real scenario. Once you understand the concept of the OSA reference model as a real scenarios, then we can fill it the concept in it. Otherwise, it's a boring, by the way. So this is then a history of OSI reference model. Like initially, a single company, IBM, introduced some sort of solution which can run within the IBM. Later, it came up with a DEC company, which is called three company together, introduced upcoming solution. Then they become open standard, which now we all are using. This is the history of your continuity of your reference model. Some engineers from a specific company called Xerox company introduced some new solution. Then it came up with open standard by using by everyone. We're going to deep on this topic. OSI reference model, open standard or system interconnect. So there are three names: IOS, OSI, and ISO. These are always become confused. So ISO is a organization, OSI is the reference model, iOS is an operating system from system. So these are the 7 OSI reference model, which we will learn one by one. The application presentation session, these 3 layers are in the real scenario we call as a one layer called application layer. So there is another layer called the TCP/IP or TCP/IP model, which the application presentation session are called as application layer. You need to by heart this, and we always talk about the layer number L1, L2, L3, L4 like this. But you need to know what is the meaning of that specific layer number. Let's say layer 4 equal to transport layer kind of stuff. Then whenever the idea behind the OSI reference model is quite simple. Let's say you have a data. When you send your data to your destination system within your source device, source in the sense from the where you are creating your source information, your information. So let's say you're creating your data from your computer. The data is as it is, and within your source computer, it will cross every layer to make your data secure, and it's a forwarding level. So just ഇങ്ങനെ മനസ്സിലാക്കുക, നിങ്ങളൊരു ലെറ്റ്സ് സേ ഒരു കൊറിയർ അയക്കാൻ വേണ്ടി പോയി. നിങ്ങളുടെ കയ്യിൽ നിങ്ങൾ ഒരു ഗിഫ്റ്റ് ഉണ്ട്. ഈ കൊറിയർ ഈ നിങ്ങളുടെ ഗിഫ്റ്റിനെ കൊറിയർ ഓഫീസിൽ പോയിട്ട് കൊറിയർ അയക്കാൻ വേണ്ടി നോക്കുമ്പോൾ അവർ പറയും ഇതൊന്നും കൂടെ ബൈൻഡ് ചെയ്യണം, ഒന്നും കൂടെ കവർ ചെയ്യണം, ഇറ്റ്സ് നോട്ട് ഇനഫ് സ്ട്രോങ്, നിങ്ങളൊന്നും കൂടെ ബൈൻഡ് ചെയ്യും. അടുത്ത ഡെസ്കിൽ പോയി അഡ്രസ്സൊക്കെ എഴുതി വീണ്ടും ഒന്നും കൂടെ ബൈൻഡ് ചെയ്യും. ഇങ്ങനെ അവർ പറയുവാണ് ഇറ്റ് റിക്വയർഡ് മോർ ഇൻഫർമേഷൻ, യു നീഡ് ടു മേക്ക് ലിറ്റിൽ മോർ സെക്യൂർ, മോർ കവറിങ്. ഈ ഒരു കോൺസെപ്റ്റാണ് നമ്മൾ ഇവിടെയും പറയുന്നത്. നിങ്ങൾ ക്രിയേറ്റ് ചെയ്ത ഡേറ്റനെ അപ്ലിക്കേഷൻ ലെയറിൽ വെച്ചുകൊണ്ട് അപ്ലിക്കേഷൻ ലെയറിന്റെ കുറച്ച് ഇൻഫർമേഷൻസ് ആഡ് ചെയ്യും. അത് നേരെ പ്രസന്റേഷൻ ലെയറിലേക്ക് പോകും. പ്രസന്റേഷൻ ലെയറിൽ വെച്ചിട്ട് പ്രസന്റേഷൻ ലെയറിന്റെ ഇൻഫർമേഷൻ ആഡ് ചെയ്യും. സെഷൻ ലെയറിൽ പോയിട്ട് സെഷൻ ലെയറിന്റെ ഇൻഫർമേഷൻ ആഡ് ചെയ്യും. അങ്ങനെ നിങ്ങളുടെ ഡേറ്റ ഓരോ ലെയർ കഴിയുമ്പോഴും അതിന്റെ ലെങ്ത് കൂടി 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 വരും, വലുതായി വലുതായി വരും. അതിന് നമ്മളിവിടെ ഹെഡർ എന്നാണ് പറയുക. അതിന്റെ സൈസ് ഓഫ് ദ ഡേറ്റ അത് വലുതായി 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 വരും. അങ്ങനെ നിങ്ങളുടെ കേബിൾ വഴി, ഫിസിക്കൽ ലെയർ വഴി, കേബിൾ വഴി അപ്പുറത്തെ എൻഡിലേക്ക് എത്തിക്കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ അവിടുന്ന് ഓരോ കവർ ഊരി 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 ഊരിയിട്ട് അവസാനം നിങ്ങളുടെ കയ്യിൽ നിങ്ങളുടെ ഡേറ്റ മാത്രം എത്തും. ഇങ്ങനെയാണ് ഇതിന്റെ ഒരു കോൺസെപ്റ്റ് ഇരിക്കുന്നത്. ഇതാണ് ഒരു ജനറൽ ഐഡിയ. ഇത് ഓരോ ലെയർ കടന്നു പോകുമ്പോഴും അതാത് ലെയറിന്റെ ഹെഡർ ആണ് ആഡ് ചെയ്യുക. എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ അപ്ലിക്കേഷൻ ലെയറിൽ വെച്ചിട്ട് അപ്ലിക്കേഷൻ ലെയറിൽ നിങ്ങളുടെ ഡേറ്റയിലേക്ക് അപ്ലിക്കേഷൻ ലെയർ ഹെഡർ ആഡ് ചെയ്യും. ഡേറ്റ പ്ലസ് അപ്ലിക്കേഷൻ ലെയർ ഹെഡർ. ഇത് നിങ്ങളുടെ പ്രസന്റേഷൻ ലെയറിലേക്ക് വരും. അതായത് നിങ്ങളുടെ ലെയർ 6ലേക്ക് വരും. അപ്ലിക്കേഷൻ ലെയറിലേക്ക് വരുമ്പോൾ എന്തുണ്ടാവുക? നിങ്ങളുടെ ഡേറ്റയും പ്ലസ് നിങ്ങളുടെ അപ്ലിക്കേഷൻ ലെയർ ഹെഡറും വരും. അതിലേക്ക് നിങ്ങളുടെ പ്രസന്റേഷൻ ലെയറിന്റെ ഹെഡർ ആഡ് ചെയ്യും. ഇത് മൂന്നും കൂടെ നിങ്ങളുടെ ലെയർ 5, അതായത് നിങ്ങളുടെ സെഷൻ ലെയറിലേക്ക് വരും. ഓക്കെ, സെഷൻ ലെയറിലേക്ക് നിങ്ങളുടെ ഡേറ്റയുണ്ട്, അപ്ലിക്കേഷൻ ലെയർ ഹെഡർ ഉണ്ട്, പ്രസന്റേഷൻ ലെയർ ഹെഡർ ഉണ്ട്. ഇത് മൂന്നുമുണ്ട്. മുകളിൽ നിന്ന് അതുപോലെ താഴേക്ക് വരിക. ദെൻ ഇതിലേക്ക് സെഷൻ ലെയർ ഹെഡർ ആഡ് ചെയ്യും. Okay, so in the application layer, the data which you created in the application layer will be adding application layer header. Then it forwarded to layer 6, presentation layer. From the presentation layer, the information which you received from the application layer called the data plus application layer header, then it will add presentation layer header. Then these three info will come to your layer 5, which is session layer. From the session layer, the data, the layer header came from the top of the layer called application layer header, presentation layer header, then the session layer header will be added into your application and presentation layer header. So it's general idea. Every layer will add something into that received data, then we'll forward it to another layer. The question: what is in the application layer header? What is going to add? Okay. Before that, there is another topic you need to understand. In the application layer, when you create a data, we call it as an application layer by using some applications. Example: MS Word, MS Excel, MS PowerPoint, or some other apps which you have in your computer that will be used you to create your data. So once you create your data, as an example, you create a data called with Windows Word. Create a data with MS Word. Once you create the data with MS Word, then that's data. The data which you created with MS Word is called your data, not application layer. Okay. Application layer header is different. First, we're going to talk about what is data. In the application layer, that you are creating something with your some applications, example MS Word. The output which you received after you create your data with MS Word is called your data. Then that data will come with to the presentation layer with the help of, with including application layer information. So I'll put you a summary. OSI layers are 7. As we said, application, presentation, session until physical. We talk about application first. The application layer, that you're creating a data by using some apps, some applications. In the applications, you can use any applications. Example, MS Word. The once you create your data with MS Word in the application layer, that data you will be forwarding into a presentation layer. So when you transfer your data from your application to the presentation layer, you will be adding application layer header, which is nothing but a protocols. Do not be confused. There are many new concepts we'll be adding into it. Later, we will be combine everything and will deliver in a single manner, in a easiest way. So as an example, application layer protocol called HTTP. When you send something via, let's say you're browsing Facebook. So you can see in the Google Chrome, HTTPS or http/facebook.com. That HTTP is your application layer protocol. When you open a HTTP, you can see many content within the HTTP, which we call as HTTP header. HTTP header. Okay. So just need to understand about application layer. We will be continue by the next class about OSI layer. Hope you clear today's session. Today we will discussed about, as a summary, we discussed about topologies, bus star ring, hybrid, extended star kind of topologies. Then we discussed about client and server based network. Then the peer-to-peer network. Peer-to-peer is just a network. No one can manage each other. Everybody are individual. Any OS can install to build your peer-to-peer network. The server-based network, you have to have a one central domain controller to manage all your other clients. In order to make your one computer as a domain controller, a domain controller is a service from the server. Therefore, you need a server OS. Example, Windows 2016. Then to make your Windows 2016 as a domain controller, you need a DNS and some other parameters. Then you can build your domain controller. Once you build your domain controller, you can make all your client as a member into that domain controller. Thereafter, your server can manage all your system in respective to giving a login option and the security and data management, etc. Then we discussed about member server, which are additional services other than your domain controller considered as a member server. Let's say as an example, your computer or your environment required a DHCP server. It is not a best practice or best design to make all the services in a single server. Therefore, domain controller is a separate server. Your example as a DHCP is a separate server. So that in order to deliver your DHCP, you need a Windows Server 2000 or Windows Server OS. Keep in mind, other devices can also deliver DHCP services like switches, routers, or some other apps um, like uh, wireless controller or any IP telephony servers can also deliver DHCP. It's up to the organization or up to us, the best practice design based on understanding the customer requirement. We can ask them where need to put the DHCP, but better not to put on the switches and the routers. Again, it depends upon the case to case, subject to subject. Then we discussed about the OSI reference model. There are 7. We will be learn individually each one to understand in clearly. Then we will combine with the reality with the 4 OSI layer, which is DoD, Defense of Domain, or TCP IP model. We just discussed about application layer data. Every layer will add something on it with received data, and the, let's say I'm sending application layer header with data to the presentation layer. Once the presentation layer received those info, presentation layer will add presentation layer header, still the data as it is. Then the presentation layer will add that into a next layer called session layer. Then the session layer will add that into the received data from the presentation layer. This we discussed until now. So by having the next session, we will finish half of the half of the OSI reference model, inshallah. We are more dealing with the bottom layer, which is called layer 2, uh, called data link layer, also called as switching. Then we called network layer, which is layer 3, also called as routing. So we are more dealing with routing and switching. Then also somehow about layer 4, which is some sort of a security. And we can also talk about something about application layer kind of a security, which is called a CBAC, content-based access list. Let's say if I wanted to filter a specific website, or if I wanted to block or permit specific name, specific threads, specific uh, website name, JPEG, MPEG, YouTube, or the photos, anything we can filter it, and anything we can present it. Let's say this person in this month used this much bandwidth to reach this specific website on a specific time. Maybe that time on a working hours, that site is something not really required, etc. All we can do by having all this kind of different scenarios, inshallah. So hope you understand till now. Thank you for joining with CML Infotech. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.